From Steam embracing mobile to Konami laughing their way to the bank, we have the latest headlines from across the game industry, so let's load them up and dive right in. According to a study performed by Queen's University, bugs aren't as big a deal to Steam players as bad design. They reported that 42% of bug mentions were actually featured in positive reviews, so it would seem they haven't been hampering reception. 42% also represents the total of Steam reviews, positive or negative, that could be considered sources of valuable feedback. That being said though, they've also mentioned that about 71% of all reviews have a lot of emotional filler that provides no real value. If you're wondering about the actual numbers behind this research, the university pulled from over 6,000 games on Steam with just shy of 11 million reviews. They were all nabbed in March of 2016, so trends could have seen some shifts since they started. But it's not a stretch to say that reading and categorizing millions of reviews takes a bit of time. Regardless of the date, chances are you'll find better results if you prioritize polishing up your design and just letting those bugs fester for a bit. You can always just patch those up later. Everyone's favorite Japanese developer has something to smile about this week. In Konami's latest financial report, the company revealed that their operating profits have continued to rise for its fourth consecutive year. The majority of their revenue is being brought in from digital entertainment, which they attribute largely to their domestic mobile releases. The international success of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links certainly hasn't hurt their bottom line either. Overall, those digital dollars total up to 1.1 billion, and they're looking to the future with optimism too, expecting to see another 0.2 added to their monetary score. Console releases aren't claiming the same spotlight as they had in previous years, and although Pro Evolution Soccer continues to be a staple in their software lineup, it seems their gamble to prioritize mobile is paying off for them. So if you're considering to make the shift from console to mobile, Konami seems like a success story you can look to for a little inspiration to take that plunge. The industry's global profits seem to be lining a particular pool of pockets. Following up on last week's projections, Newzoo has shared that the top 25 companies make up 77% of the global market, earning $94 billion of 2017's $120 billion. The top 5 remain the same as they were in 2016, consisting of Tencent, which for those unfamiliar is the Chinese conglomerate that boasts such studios as Riot Games and Supercell, followed by Sony, Apple, Microsoft, and Activision Blizzard. 46% of the top 25's profits came from mobile sales, which is up from the previous year's 41%. If you're not among these top companies raking in the big bucks though, don't beat yourself up too much. There's still 23% of the global market out there for you to claim. If the investment bank DigiCapital has accurate projections, it looks like the Asian markets might be dominating the AR and VR business by 2022. According to their estimates, they believe China has the potential alone to make $1 out of every 5 spent on the technologies. DigiCapital says VR seems like a subset of the games market, while AR is more akin to mobile, which lines up well with the fact that AR is largely experienced on mobile platforms rather than console and PC. Although America has a sizable install base for PlayStation VR and other high-end headsets, China has a much larger install base for mobile and can leverage that to spur on sales. They aren't ruling out the possibility of the states rising above China in a few years, but factor in the rest of the Asian markets like South Korea and there's no contest. Which is to say, if you want to make it big in the VR and AR business, pack your bags, learn Mandarin, and make your way east. Congregate is opening its 5th studio and the first to grace Canadian soil, announcing this week that they'll be putting down roots in Montreal. CEO Emily Greer had some swell words to share about the decision, noting that Montreal is a hotspot for game development with a strong and diverse talent pool. She'd go on to say that the move would help expand the company's resources, while also putting them closer to their Canadian and European partners in terms of time zones. So, good for those guys. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have buckled to the whims of the FTC this week. To comply with warranty laws, Sony has revised its policy to give consumers more freedom with third-party peripherals, as warranties are only voided now if damage is done to a product from these extensions rather than from the act of simply using them. They've also appended the fact that free return shipping is offered for consoles under warranty that are being sent off for repairs or factory recertification, which has always been a service, but not one that was openly advertised. Microsoft followed suit, stating that having your device repaired by a third party, opening your console, or breaking the seal will not void the warranty. As for Nintendo, they expanded their text to express how the company provides warranty service for defects not caused by the user or other unauthorized acts. With all the big console heavyweights making their policies more open, there's no better time than now to start planning some peripherals for your next game. There's some new Valve apps coming out later this year. The company has revealed plans to expand their offerings onto mobile devices through Steam Video and Steam Link. While the former doesn't provide much for developers as its name suggests, the latter shares its title with a previous piece of hardware that allowed users to stream Steam on their televisions, and will enable users to play games on their mobile device so long as it's hosted from a suitable system. The Steam Link app is scheduled to launch later this month on the 21st. It won't open up the market much more since it relies on PC hardware to operate, but giving players more options might just encourage them to play on the platform more often, which might just give your games a better shot at coming off players' backlogs. Studios are slowly but surely claiming their footholds in the esports market. Hi-Rez Studios, the developers behind Smite and Paladins, is the latest to enter the arena, announcing their own esports organization this month. Dubbed Skillshot Media, their production company is a natural evolution of their live streaming efforts. As company COO Todd Harris shared, they started live streaming games from a bedroom, graduated to a small office, and now have a dedicated studio with 35 employees. They view this extension into esports and video content as any developer should, as a means to foster community, and having built a player base of over 45 million, they certainly have a strong starting position. And that covers this week's lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Was there anything you found particularly insightful? Did we miss something you think should have been covered? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to tune in next time for another newsworthy breakdown.